Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the back office. You may know I'm a fan of Nintendo, owning several of their gaming systems, and I really have always liked their handheld games. Currently, I really spend most of my time on the 3DS XL and the very excellent Terraria. We will be covering that in a video shortly. But, I just want to show you something I found the other day, and these were my old Nintendo Advance. I'm just going to try to focus on the screen here, because you may recall the screens weren't quite up to the standard they are now, and a little bit dark because there was no backlight in these. And so this was just a basic model I had. There's the F-Zero cartridge. It's pretty scuffed up. In fact, somewhere around here, here it is. Had a rubber case just to kind of protect it a little bit more. Hard-wearing unit. F-Zero is one of my favourite games, so it saw a lot of action. In fact, I've noticed here, I can turn right, but I can't turn left. So this unit, and there's also something under the screen, so I'm thinking this has actually seen a bit of abuse recently, so that's something I'm going to have to fix, but let's put that aside for a moment. I just want to show you this one though. This was my very first Game Boy Advance. I must have bought this nearly, going back some now, maybe 15, 14 years ago. But the difference in this one, if I just turn it off and then on again, I'll find some games. You'll notice the screen's nice and bright, and that's because I fitted a front light to it. So if I hold down this select button and use the A and the B, you can see it gets brighter and then progressively darker. Now what piqued my interest in digging these out was I was rooting around in a box and I came across a couple of cartridges. And I do have an original Game Boy somewhere up in the loft, but I'm not going to go get that. And a Tetris cartridge and a Super Mario Land 2. I never even had played this. And I was sort of racking my brains, avoiding really going up to the loft to go get my original Game Boy. And I then remembered that these could fit in here, because I was trying to sort of shove these in my 3DS. I used to have the old Nintendo DS, and I think the cartridges may have fit in those, but they certainly fit in the old Game Boy Advance. On the top, you can stretch the screen to fit or leave it as is. I said if I just leave it as is. I'm going to put the screen on full brightness so you can see it's nice and sharp now. And if I'm just briefly. Brilliant. The old Tetris music really brought back a lot of memories, and it's Tetris as I remember it. Now, what I didn't remember is that Tetris is sort of coloured. It's got a few different shades here. And I do recall back in the day, if you had a Game Boy Color, something like this would happen. It would, either they stored additional colour information in the game for that future event when Game Boys would be released in colour. So you can play this excellent definitive version of Tetris wherever you go. And I think this feels like a good way of playing it. It's playing Game Boy Tetris on a Game Boy. Fantastic. So let's jump in and just see what Super Mario Land 2 is like. I'll point that up. Uh-oh. Let's have a look here. It's extra fun trying to look through the camera. Does seem a bit crustified, but maybe if we just keep trying, we'll get it to go. It's almost Nintendo. Yes. Any sound? Okay. Okay, reminds me a lot like the old Super Mario on the Super Nintendo. So I'll just try to hold this. Yeah. It's alright. It's definitely not anything like the original Super Mario Land on the original Game Boy version, because the graphics on that were no way near as nice as these. This seems almost like an update of the NES version. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. We'll have to play that later. Something I want to show you though. I found this cartridge in here, and I remember these are one of these memory carts that let you use ROMs, which are, you know, a bit dubious really. But I found a game on here that it surprised me. I wasn't sure if it was a real release or if someone had made a ROM for it and shoved it on this cartridge. But look, it's the original Super Mario Brothers. The Super Mario Brothers that many of us grew up with. Oh, oh well. So there you have it. If you do find some old cartridges, or lucky enough to find some, I don't know if they're worth any money, but they're worth hanging on to. Yeah, if you've got the old Game Boy Advance, chuck them in, have a play, and you'll get the games in colour. Please feel free to click subscribe or leave any comments down below. And as ever, thanks for watching.